Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is upcoming campaigns for the month of July. We have a bunch of games to go through, not necessarily as busy as June. June seemed to be, I take it back. We have a lot of campaigns coming up in July that may or may not tempt your wallet, but we'll go through all of those today. Usual reminder before we start to make sure to go ahead and subscribe to Shelf Clutter if you haven't already, in case you want the most up-to-date information on these campaigns. I do these videos once a month talking about the upcoming campaigns for that month, but Shelf Clutter does these every single week, which means he's covering more campaigns than I am because he can afford to cover all of them, and I'm trying to cover what I think is most going to capture your attention. He also has the most up-to-date information on cancellations or adjusted dates or new things being added, so make sure to go ahead and subscribe to Adam over at Shelf Clutter if you want the most up-to-date information on upcoming campaigns. Now, before we dive into the actual upcoming campaigns, and of course I'll have links and timestamps to everything down below, we do have a sponsor this week. We have the WSBG, the World Series of Board Games, is going to be our sponsor once again. WSBG is going to be taking place this September. It's going to be another amazing event. This is their third year now. They've done it for year one, year two. They're partnering with the Dice Tower. They're really heavily leaning into the whole competition and all that. But today I want to focus on more than just the fact that this is a competition where, yes, you can win up to $40,000 in assorted prizes and all that, but rather you can also just treat it like a regular convention and have fun while enjoying the spectacle and the event that is the WSBG. They're going to have open gaming the entire time. They're going to have side tournaments left, right, and center. They're going to have a board game library. The Dice Tower West board game library is going to be there. A huge library, one of the biggest out there, I believe, period, full stop, although I don't know if they have the full library from Dice Tower West at the WSBG, but they'll have a lot of selection over there. They have morning award ceremonies. They have the final award ceremony. Every morning you can go ahead and be a part of the event. And it really does feel like being a part of these people who are competing and winning the World Series of Board Gaming Awards. And then of course they're going to have, not of course, they're also adding evening shows and entertainment, which are trying to level up the amount that they do every evening to really make this an event that can get you from anything from competing to playing games to side tournaments to whatever it is you're there for. WSBG is going to be an excellent time, and you can use code ALEX for $25 off your ticket. I'll have all that information in the links down, but in the description down below. With that, let's go ahead and start off. We're going to be going through a whole lot of campaigns over here, but starting off with July 1st, we have Deep Regrets, an unfortunate fishing game. This is a fishing game where you start to fish progressively worse and worse things out of the ocean as you go. You're progressing more and more things, driving yourself mad as you go. This is going to be Deep Regrets from Judson Cohen. We also have Escape from Camp Creepwood over here. This is going to be a game of a cooperative tabletop game as you try to survive through the horrors of a variety of scenarios while managing your stats and exploring a haunted campground, all that, launching July 1st. We have Kemet Rise of the Gods. I believe this is launching July 2nd. Kemet Rise of the Gods is going to be an expansion to Kemet, adding a bunch of things. And I should have coverage for you, hopefully day one coverage, but we'll see. There's a lot of things coming up and a lot of schedules to manage. But Kemet Rise of the Gods is going to introduce a 6th player to Kemet. It's going to introduce the Gods expansion. There's going to be a Gods module, more of a module than an expansion. It's going to add 2 new full colors of pyramid tiles to the game. So if you want more pyramid tiles, more variety to experience, you have that, as well as cleaning up the rules across the board in general. That and other things are going to be present over here. And by cleaning up the rules, I should mean more than just clean up the rules. I mean tweaks and adjustments to make the game a better experience. There's all that and more coming July 2nd, I believe, over on GameFound with the Matago launching this one, Kemet Rise of the Gods. We have Emerald Skulls. Emerald Skulls coming to you from Thunderworks Games. It's going to be a fast and tricky goblin dice game, a push your luck dice game of trying to slot dice into various spots on the skull over here. This is going to take place in their Cartographer's universe. It's another small box game similar to, I'm blanking on the name, Tricky Goblins? No, something else, I don't remember, their other game. But in that universe, that's going to be Emerald Skulls from Thunderworks Games. We have Brink, another July 2nd campaign, I believe. Brink is going to come to you from Ivy Studios. You can check out a ton of content on this game. Some of it available now, some of it coming. I already have a review up. Dice Tower had a live gameplay. I believe the Ivy Games channel will have a bunch of gameplays that they filmed already, including ones including gameplays that I was in. But overall, Brink is going to be bringing you a worker placement in which you have to be mindful as you place your ships on the board. You're going to have 1, 2, and 3 level ships. Each of those can affect more zones on the board. So a level 1 ship hits 1 zone, level 2 hits 2, and level 3 hits 3 different zones. As you place your ships, you're being mindful of the resource you gather, the actions you take, because it's going to define both of those, but also the area control that you're leaning into in terms of how you're going to score. You're trying to balance all of that while you deal with a lot of other things going on in the game, including constantly trading resources so you can make sure that you have what you need to accomplish your goals in Brink. Make sure to check this one out. It's going to be launching, I believe, July 2nd. We have Zoo Tycoon, another July 2nd campaign over here. Zoo Tycoon the board game and New Shores. This one's going to be a second edition together with the New Shores content, introducing more variety, I believe, to the animal market, more variety to animals itself. And again, this is another one I should have coverage for you. Hopefully day one coverage, but we'll see how that goes. We also have over here Outbreak, the zombie apocalypse game. Outbreak is going to be a 1-8 player, a hardcore cooperative zombie survival strategy game in which you're trying to defend your internal city as the zombies slowly move your way in. That's going to be coming to you from Dark Frontier Games, who I believe did Amass. I'm not sure what else they've done, but I know they did Amass there. There's also a single player mode, a frantic 8-player, and according to this little blurb, you're probably going to die. We have Terrorscape Putrefied Enmity from Ice Makes. This is going to be an expansion and reprint to Terrorscape. If you've missed this one, it's going to be a 1 versus many game in which one player plays as the killer, the other players play as the survivors, trying to basically survive and call for help or just outlast the killer as the killer slowly tries to take them down. There's going to be asymmetric, survivors and killers and maps and all that. This introduces all of that, and there's some cool shiny foil cards over here on the campaign page. Haven't heavily gone into this. I don't do the full, research on the campaign pages quite yet, but I do know that those cards look delightful. They very much remind me of the Solar Sentinels in 20 Strong, the way those cards little shimmer and shine and all that. Very delightful to look at. We also have over here, we have Rise of Babel. Rise of Babel is coming to you from Better One Games, so I believe previously was it called The Ark? There was a game about The Ark, I think it was called The Ark, but Rise of Babel is going to be a deck building game. A deck building game where you're slowly building up the Tower of Babel, and it's a game which you're trying to be mindful, you're trying to gather resources, slowly move them towards the tower, stock them onto the tower for various placement bonuses, all while building out the best possible deck. There's expansion content as well. I don't know about the expansion content yet, but I do know this is going to be July 9th, by the way. But the base game I've played already, and we'll be diving into more. We'll have content for you. The expansion, we might try to have content for you. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how things go. There's Sirens of Deep Sea, another July 9th campaign over here. Sirens of Deep Sea from Forgotten Tales is going to be it's a cooperative survival scenario-based game in which you're controlling various sirens in the game while you go through a sequence of scenarios, a sequence of chapters in each scenario. So each scenario is going to throw you into a bunch of chapters of do this, then this is going to happen, then this happens, and you're kind of going through a story, but you're going through the mechanics of an RTS game built into this ocean scenario while going through the story that the scenario is going to throw at you as you go through it. There's going to be underwater enemies, there's going to be bosses, there's going to be a lot of village building or building up your situation in the game. That's going to be Sirens of the Deep Sea. Beautiful art, beautiful theme, and we'll have more content for you as the campaign approaches. We also have over here, we have One Deck Dungeon Relics of the Forge. This is going to be, I believe, the 3rd iteration in the One Deck series. There's One Deck Dungeon, there's One Deck Dungeon Forest of Shadows, and there's Relics of the Forge. There might be another. I have a feeling I'm missing another one. But either way, this is going to give you a big box as well for your entire One Deck Dungeon, so you can put it into a big shiny box over here. This is going to give you more One Deck Dungeon in this solo. I believe the original One Deck Dungeon is 1 to 2 players. I assume this is the same player count, but not actually sure. But it's basically a solo-ish game, which you're going to be building out your hero while you go deeper and deeper into the dungeon to try to survive. Over here we have Pandora Celeste from Gun Tower Games. This is basically Nemesis, but not Nemesis. The core idea over here is you are on a spaceship, there are aliens trying to kill you, and you are trying to survive against the ship while accomplishing your own unique goals that may or may not combine with other players' goals. So you're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. Happens to be you both want to kill the aliens, but whether or not you survive together is an entirely different story in this game. So very alien themed, very Nemesis themed, or I guess Nemesis is alien themed, so very alien themed. This is going to be Pandora Celeste from Gun Tower Games, and again, we should have content for you as well. Another July 9th campaign. We have 20 Strong Tanglewoods over here. 20 Strong Tanglewoods from Chip Theory Games is going to be bringing you Tanglewoods Red, White, and Gold. 3 new decks in the 20 Strong universe, building on the 20 Strong core gameplay, in which you're going to be rolling dice and trying to effectively survive your way through a series of encounters, through a series of enemies, until you eventually get to the final boss and take them out. Now this one, I've already had a chance to play Tanglewoods Red. I will have content for you on the channel. I'll have a gameplay content as well as review content, and if you can't wait for that, I believe One Stop Co-op Shop already has a playthrough and first impressions on his channel. You can check that out. But to me, so far, based on my one play of it, I definitely think it's the... I'll hold off. I like it, but I'll hold off thoughts until I play it more because I'd like to play it more. But if you like 20 Strong, you're going to like this. If you don't like 20 Strong, I don't think this is going to strongly change your mind, but I do think there are some, I do think there are some nice things about this, and of course the art is very different than the 20 Strong's universe currently, so if you've been not pulled in by that, but this pulls you in, this might be your entry point to the 20 Strong's universe. Then we have over here DC Superheroes United. This one's going to be launching, I want to say July 10th, I think, if it's 11 days. Gotta be July 10th, right? Or July 10th or July 11th. But either way, DC Superheroes United is going to continue the Marvel United series, but this time with the DC IP on top of it. It's coming to you from CMON, of course. It's going to be giving you this typical DC United gameplay, or typical Marvel United gameplay. They are adding something new to the game so far, so every time CMON has done the Marvel United series, they've added new things. They had Marvel United, and then they had Marvel United with cards that stay in your hands, and they had Marvel United with equipment and a new solo mode. This has all of those things, But the things it adds on top of that, things it builds further, is it's also giving you cards that have new abilities. Cards that stay in play, giving you an ongoing impact, and maybe cards that trigger based on certain things. There are two new types of cards that will go into the circle that build on the gameplay. So if you want even more to your Marvel United system, this is going to continue to expand on that series. I'm sure there'll be a million questions as to, is it cross-compatible or not? And I can't see a reason why it wouldn't be. Obviously, if you're playing with other stuff, you may not have certain things, so you may not have cards that stay in play. But I can't see a reason why it wouldn't be cross-compatible. I assume CMON won't officially comment on that because the nature of having different IPs does mean that they're often in a situation where they don't put out official comments. But from reading the rulebooks and going through it, I can't see a reason why you can't have Batman and Iron Man going toe-to-toe against Darkseid or whatnot. Anyways, that's going to be DC Superheroes United. We'll have a bunch of content for you as well. Then we have over here the Flames of Fafnir, a physics-based board game from Lucky Duck. This is going to give you a game which you're being mindful of Fafnir, the giant dragon who's trying to destroy the village. You're going to be working together with your other heroes as you try to stop the dragon, although one player can possibly take control of the dragon to try to be the person who's destroying the village instead. So if you like burning alive innocent women and children, this might be the game for you. And if you like protecting your evil friends from doing that, this also might be the game for you. We have Yonder from Sinister Fish Games. Yonder is going to be a worker placement game as you build out upon new shores, dealing with envoys, negotiating with people, trying to build out your village, coming to you from Sinister Fish, from the same designer who brought you, same designer and illustrator of Villagers, Streets, and Moon. So yeah, same designer and illustrator of those three games. We have Luthier from Pavisar Games. Very highly anticipated game is going to be Luthier, coming to you from Dave Beck from Patterson Games. A game of crafting instruments for Mozart and the golden age of music. Again, another one we should have content for you. I believe, was this a July? I don't remember if this is July 9th or we've moved to July 16th. I'd have to double check my calendar. From there, though, we have over here, it must be July 16th, we'll see. We have Jim Henson's Labyrinth, the board game, 40th anniversary collection. This is from Mantic Games. They already put out a Labyrinth, the board game, but they're doing a 40th anniversary collection over here, not of the board game, of the movie, but they're giving you a deluxe giant board game with miniatures, with the same gameplay, or I don't know if they've tweaked the gameplay or not on this one, but 5,000 people following the campaign already. This is going to be bringing you the Labyrinth universe with David Bowie and all that stuff, but with miniatures, tons of miniatures and deluxeifications and all that in this big box tribute to the original work. We also have over here, we have EPOS, a Gentes game from Spielworks. EPOS previously done together with Game Brewer. Game Brewer unfortunately is closing down, by the way. Last chance to get their stock if you haven't already. They are selling out their last games, but Gentes, which is a great game from Spielworks and oh my gosh, I literally just said their name. Gamecrafter? Is that what it said? Was that... Am I blanking on this? Games? No. Either way, why am I blanking on the name? I literally just said it, didn't I? Oh, this is going to bother me. Anyways, Gentes, which was a great game. Currently they have EPOS, a Gentes game from Spielworks, which is giving you similar gameplay but different. It's building on that gameplay system, but it's giving you a renowned best-selling game by Stefan Risthaus, and this one's giving you 8 unique thematic scenarios, a linked campaign mode, the typical competitive base game, a solo mode, variable victory conditions. It seems to be building off the same general gameplay. Elements of this do look similar. The cover's not pulling me in. It's like too blue, unfortunately. I mean, not necessarily too blue, but either way, cover's not pulling me as much as the art and production of the original Spielworks, but nonetheless, I'm interested in the game because I like the game, the original EPOS, but nonetheless, the original Gentes. This one, honestly, I should reshoot this segment over here. I've been all over the place in the words, but I'm going to go ahead and move forward with it. We have Take the Throne by Death Trap Games. King of Tokyo style gameplay in the sense that you're going to have a single player trying to gain control of the throne. Every turn, you're going to have players playing cards, always trying to gain control of the throne so they can get points. So it seems to have that King of the Hill style gameplay of King of Tokyo in a fast-paced, card-driven system. We also have over here CastleScape Gates and Guilds from Praetorian Board Games. This one, I don't see a date on this one, but I believe it's launching mid-July. I believe so. But anyways, CastleScape Gates and Guilds is going to be coming to you from Praetorian Board Games. It's an expansion to CastleScape, which was a deck-building area control game where you're trying to place little towers down on the board while building out a better and better deck as you go through it. This is going to be giving you expands the world of CastleScape by bringing guild masters to leverage their specific strengths in building the grandest castle with a new castle gate structure, where your guild claim the most renown. We have Survive Alive by Schnarf Games. It's going to be 23. This is going to be a July 16th, July 23rd. I guess July 23rd. A July 23rd game coming to you from Schnarf Games. Survive Alive is a roll and write game which you're trying to defend your own settlement against a zombie invasion. This one is a competitive system. Despite the zombies, you are trying to survive the most in this. So it's called Survive Alive, but it's basically surviving better than the other players. That's going to be a roll and write game, or I don't know if it's roll and write. It's a writing. There's definitely writing in it. I don't remember if there's rolling. I don't think there's rolling. It's flip and write. A flip and write game of zombie survival in a post-apocalyptic universe. We have Jurassic Feud Vesuvius Media is coming out with Jurassic Feud. This is building upon the Catapult Feud game system, but this time with dinosaurs. So if you like the idea of Catapult Feud, but you want dinosaurs in your living room instead, well, now you have that opportunity with Jurassic Feud. We also have over here Ascension Legends from Stoneblade Entertainment. They are coming out with a new standalone expansion, big box designed for newcomers and for old players alike, or whatever. It's going to be Ascension Legends, giving you even more Ascension gameplay. Ascension and Dominion are like the two granddaddies of deck building games. They're not necessarily the first, but they are the ones that made it the most popular as a genre as far as deck building goes. We had a Dominion with its fixed market deck building, and Ascension with its rotating market deck building, both very much defining the deck building landscape, including follow-ups from Stoneblade themselves. They've had other deck building games as well, both deck building skirmish and deck building standalone. They have Shards of Infinity, the Ascension skirmish ones, whatever they're called again, Ascension something, whatever it is. But either way, Ascension Legends coming to GameFound, July 23rd or 4th or somewhere around there. We have Dead Reckoning Port of Call. This, I believe, is currently slated for a July 30th campaign. I don't know for sure because this was announced a while ago and now this kind of have updated with dates. I don't know if that will hold true or not, but effectively I believe the current plans is they're doing Dead Reckoning Port of Call, which is going to be the newest expansion for Dead Reckoning. I believe they're trying for a big box as well. Again, I don't know if this is actually fixed as July 30th, but that's the last date I have from them, so we'll see if that does or doesn't happen. But that's going to be Dead Reckoning Port of Call. And then we have a few games that are kind of in the maybe category. Games that are currently slated for July. I don't know if they actually will be. So I'll briefly talk about them though. Put them on your calendar. Follow the campaigns. All those things. These campaigns may or may not be launching in July. We have Wandering Galaxy, a Crossroads game. It's going to be the newest Crossroads game, coming back to crowdfunding. It's been a while since Plaid Hat has been on crowdfunding, and this is going to be the return to crowdfunding with a new Crossroads game system. We also have over here Historica Arcanum, Cults of London. This is previously an RPG system. I mean, the world is an RPG world, but they're taking that RPG world and bringing it into the board game instead, or additionally. We also have Sprocketforge, a gear-turning engine game from Sophisticated Cerberus Gaming, who did Stifling Dark, which is a hidden movement game. It's going to be a more of a Euro-based game. And then we have over here, we have two more. Sorry if I keep tilting my head, the camera's in the way of the browser tabs. We have DinoGenics New Arrivals from Ninth Haven Games. This is going to be the newest DinoGenics expansion. Again, this one's tentatively July, but I know they've pushed it off a few times now, so I'm not entirely sure how it'll play out. But this is going to be a worker placement game of managing your dinosaurs and trying to have your guests not get eaten as you go through it. And then lastly, we have Dungeon Twister 20th Anniversary Edition. This is going to be a 20th Anniversary Edition of Dungeon Twister. They have the original game, they have the entire Dungeon Twister 2 Prison, and now they have Dungeon Twister 20th Anniversary Edition, which is looking pretty cool. This is a game I've never actually played, always wanted to play it. I've owned both Dungeon Twister and Dungeon Twister 2 Prison when I first got into the hobby. Never ended up tabling them, but it's one that I am interested in. It's kind of a puzzly solving thing. There's rotating stuff. Seem very interested, and I'm interested in seeing what they bring to the table here. And that's basically what we have here. As far as our picks of the month, there's a bunch of games that I am very, very interested in, so honestly, I don't even know where to begin, but let me just go through them all. I think I have to go with these three. So I'm going to go with 3 picks of the month. Picks of the month are the games that I am most personally interested in, and I will say there are a lot here. The fact that I'm not picking some bothers me already. Like Luthier, I'm really excited for that one, but I'm not picking it because I'm picking 3 other games instead, which are first of all going to be, I'm going to start off with DC United over here. That's going to be my number 3, because as much as I'm excited for DC United, the United system is a game that I have a ton of content for, and I don't need more content for. I'll enjoy it, and some of my kids like DC more than Marvel, some of my kids like Marvel more than DC, so I'm happy to have more content. I'm happy to see them continue to expand the gameplay. I just hope they don't do Harry Potter United, because I would also get all of that. I don't know. I like the idea. Whatever. We're going to move on. Anyways, DC Superheroes United. That's the one I'm intrigued by, so that's going to be my number 3 pick. My number 2 pick is going to be Kemet Rise of the Gods. This is expansion content for Kemet. At this point, this is going to be the number of power tiles to 7 unique sets of power tiles. That is a whole lot of power tiles, a whole lot of ways to combine and mix and match, bringing the gameplay of Kemet with high degree of variability. It's just tons of powers and powers and powers and abilities for you to have as much fun as possible. I've loved Kemet since I first played it. It has been a game that's seen up and downs in my top 100, but it's always been in my top 100 since I first started playing the game. And then my number 1 pick is going to be 20 Strong Tanglewoods. I love the 20 Strong series. It's a fast, absorbable, easy to play game. I like that. I like the solo friendly. I like the travel friendly. I like all of that. And Tanglewoods Red, at least if I've only played Tanglewoods Red, I don't believe I'll have White or Gold for you right now, so can't comment on those. But Tanglewoods Red already, I can tell you right now, is a very enjoyable version of Tanglewoods. It's definitely in the running for being my favorite of the 3 decks, but I have to play it more to see how that goes. And that's basically what we have over here. That is going to be your what is it? Upcoming crowdfunding campaigns for the month of July. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.